Thank you again, Wendy. So it's Unity on the Bay Day, which means we've added a lot of little pieces to our services, so I know we're going a little long, so that just means I'm going to cut it really short with my talk today. You got it. That was actually my opening joke. So hang out. Well, actually, I didn't even think about saying this until now, and I was just experiencing us. And I just got back last night from being in Puerto Rico. I was invited by Unity World Headquarters to go and to speak to about 30 or so Unity ministers in the island of Puerto Rico about what is possible with the power of unity, to support them in having a greater vision of what we can do together as we continue to live out our faith and invite more people to live out our faith. And I just want to take a moment to invite you to look around the room and to know that this is what's possible. See, it's easy for me to share what that vision is because I get to live into that vision with each and every one of us. And it's just a really beautiful thing. And I just really hope that not only are you receiving from Unity on the Bay, I hope you know how much you give to Unity on the Bay and how much this community is us. This community is what we are not only about, it is what we carry with us and what we are here to share as what is possible. And I know that we talk about it often. Sometimes it gets hard to see what is possible in the midst of all the things that are going on. And every Sunday, or every time we go to a prayer circle, or every time that we connect in a volunteer or outreach program, however it is that we connect with Unity on the Bay, we are reminded of what is possible in God, in grace, and in love. Everyone say amen? Amen, it is. And actually, this is us living into our amen. This is the way that we not only honor the God of our being, but we celebrate who we are when we remember that we are one with that essence and presence that we know God to be. And so today is a celebration. And today we get to really live into the joy that it is that we get to be connected and be with each other and to remember that sacred love that binds us. Because this is a day where we take a moment to just pause and feel into the joy that we have found ourselves here and that we have created this. I share with you often, Unity on the Bay is an answered prayer, is it not? How many of us have prayed for a community like Unity on the Bay? How many of us have prayed for the kind of relationships and the kind of vision and the kind of actions out in the world that we are experiencing? Yes? And guess what? It wasn't necessarily somebody else that did this. It was each one of us holding that prayer, holding that vision, and listening to that inner guidance of God that brought us to this place. And so we not only held the prayer, we created our own answered prayer. That is the power that is within each and every one of us. And so we are celebrating the love that is here. And so join me in just affirming or celebrating or just owning what we really are about. And so love lives here. Everyone say it. Love lives here. Love lives in me.
Love lives in me.
Love lives in you. And see, I just, as I was thinking about this, some of you that were around for a while here at Unity on the Bay, and maybe you heard it in your childhood, that song, I love myself so much. How many of you know that song? That I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. I love myself so much, that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. That's not superficial. That is a deep love. That is a love that is birthed from the very essence of God within us. It is a love that is powerful. It is a love that creates miracles. It is a love that creates a blessing. And it is a love that calls us to be a blessing. And I got to tell you, Unity on the Bay, we are biblical. We're not just a little community here. We're not just a little thing over here. We are of biblical proportions. And I have to tell you that we are promoted by the Bible itself, because it is said in Psalms 133:1, how good and pleasant it is when God's people live together in unity. So we are living into it. And we are showing what is possible when we do, and we are giving people and ourselves a greater vision of what is intended here. How good it is when individuals that feel the essence of God guiding them and inspiring them come together in unity. Come together for a greater work, and come together to understand more fully the power and the presence of all that God is. And so part of our work and part of the things that we celebrate here is that, yes, the spiritual path is an individual path, and we are companions in that path. We are partners within that path. We are fellow travelers together in that path. And in knowing that and remembering that, then we know that we are more than a building. We're more than even the programs that we have. What we are is a sanctuary of love. Amen? A sanctuary of love, a sanctuary that is a spiritual home. And so while I am so excited, and I am so excited that next year's Unity on the Bay Day will be at our new location in Miami Gardens, the reality is that we have always been home. We have always been home because we have always been in God, and we have always been in the love and the care of God, and we have woken up to it. And we come on Sundays, or we come to whatever programs that we are connected with at Unity on the Bay to simply remember that and to see that maybe just a little bit more clearly, to recognize that each one of us are here not only by divine appointment, but to be a blessing and to be mirrors of God's grace and beauty in each other's lives. James Baldwin, the author, the poet, the activist, the advocate, said once, "The longer I live, the more deeply I learn that love, whether we call it friendship or family or romance, is the work of mirroring and magnifying each other's light." When you come to Unity on the Bay, do you not feel magnified? Do you not feel seen? Do you not feel cared for as the very light of God in expression? And are we not invited to see that in each other? That's what we do here. We mirror each other's divinity. We remind each other of our divine worth, and we get to magnify that light that is within us until that light becomes so bright for the world to see, for the world to experience. And spiritual community is such a powerful presence for not just us, but really for the needs that we have as a human family. Psychologists say that faith community, spiritual community, and I believe deeply that this is what Unity on the Bay does, that it provides what they call the 4 B's. In the human experience. And as I share these with you, I want to invite you to just take a moment and reflect on maybe an experience that you have had as part of Unity on the Bay that brings you to a place of knowing this. See, spiritual community is here to support us in feeling like we belong. That feeling of being welcomed, of loved and accepted as you are. And so if nobody has told you today, or actually if you haven't heard it enough, or in all honesty, there is not enough that where you can hear it, let me tell you, you belong here. You are seen for the good that you are. You are not only welcomed here, you are the fabric of Unity on the Bay. We belong to each other. Heart to heart, light to light. It provides a space of bonding, a space where we come together through shared experiences, Sunday services, singing, meditations, prayer. And it's a deep bond that, yes, it reminds us of the bond that we have as part of the human family. And what I believe is so powerful in that is that we get to then lean on that to remember that we are always one with God. And so the more that I remember that I am one with you, Carmen, the more that I remember that I am one with you, Lily, the more I remember that I am part of that oneness that we know God to be. And that bond is unshakable, unbreakable, and it's something that we can continue to lean on when it gets a little challenging, when it gets a little hard. It also provides for behavior. I have to tell you, like this idea of cultivating kindness, cultivating integrity, and I've shared with you often, my good Lord, do I have to try to be in integrity around here, right? But it's a powerful thing to be able to come to a place that reminds us of what are the ways in which I want to behave out in the world? What is the ways in which I want to show up in the world? And what are the tools that I can have to be able to cultivate that kind of behavior for myself in the world that I am living in? And the last part is the power of believing. How many of you believe just a little bit more since the day that you walked into Unity on the Bay? Believe of what is possible? Believe in the power of God, amen? Believe in the power of grace. Believe that we are here by divine appointment. Believe that there is something greater within us than we could ever imagine. And believe that there is something even greater within us that is meant to be shared out into the world. That we together are lifting up society, are lifting up community, and are lifting up the world. And I know that it gets hard sometimes when you look out into the world of time and space to believe that, and we get to remind each other, and we get to support each other in that. And I think it's really beautifully depicted, all of these, in the African principle of Ubuntu. I am because you are because I am. We would also say that Namaste, the Christ in me salutes the Christ in you. The I am nature of who I am sees the I am nature within you. And so this is where truth lives, this is where love lives, and this is how we find our wholeness, not in isolation, but together, hand in hand. And so this is a celebration of what we get to experience with each other, and it's an honoring and a reminder of what we are called into, right? Because we can celebrate who we are, and we can realize that we are being called to be even more of that which we are celebrating. So, how is it that you support others and invite others in feeling like they belong? How do you extend our hand out to individuals so that they know that there's somebody that cares, that there is a place for them, that they are not forgotten, that they are part of God's family and therefore our family? How is it that we are invited to create stronger bonds? How are you showing up in this community? How are you showing up in the world to create a stronger connection with every single person that you meet? I remember Neil Donald Walsh once said, in a lifespan, every individual will look into the eyes of at least 10,000 people. And my first thought was like, holy cow, 10,000 people. But what he followed that up with is, imagine having 10,000 opportunities to change somebody's life. How powerful is that? How are we invited to check in about our behaviors and how we want to show up? And how are we being invited to believe in something greater? Whether you believe in something greater from the moment that you got here to now, I want to tell you there's even something greater that is at hand, and there is something greater that we are living into. And so our dream of a world of love, a world of peace, a world of joy is the dream that we get to hold together. And I love this quote by Yoko Ono that she says, a dream that we dream on our own is just a dream, but a dream that we dream together becomes a reality. And that is what we are creating here as part of Unity on the Bay. Now, do you feel the love that's in the room? Do you feel the joy that is in the room? Do you feel the grace that is in the room? Well, guess what? There's an actual name for what this is. The sociologist Emile Durkheim called it collective effervescence. Ooh, right? Collective effervescence. Doesn't that feel good? But that's the sort of electricity, the spark that we share, that we connect with, and that we get to experience, and that we get to support each other in experiencing. We feel it here at Unity on the Bay. We feel it in our collective experiences. We feel it when we're here for Sunday services. Did we not feel it when we recognize that we are a part of a community that has given over 75,000 backpacks to children in need? Do we not feel that collective joy when we had over 40 individuals that went to the Everglades Detention Center last Sunday and did the prayer for protection so that all people are treated in the humanity that they are? And I mean, I don't want to go too far with it, but I don't know. We were there that Sunday, and this week, it was already told that it needs to wind down operations. I don't know. I don't know, right? But this is the thing, and for me, it's more than just, the joy of being together in community. It is to know that our voices are heard, to know that we make an impact, to know that we make a difference, and to know that we can stand for the values and the principles that are a part of who we are. We feel it when we give over 1,000 meals on Thanksgiving Day to families in need, when we hold each other's hands during the peace song. How many of us, when we hold each other's hands during the peace song, take a moment to recognize this is how peace is made? By holding each other heart to heart, by speaking it out loud, by remembering the power that we have, because it starts with us. That is the power of unity. And again, that is not only what we celebrate, but this is what I'm inviting you to continue to grow into, because it is something that we can be grateful for, that we've walked this path. But guess what? The path continues, and it's calling us into greater things. And when we talk about the beloved community, and I love that it was shared about earlier, the beloved community, it can feel like it can be overwhelming, right? Like it could be daunting to feel like we are here to create the beloved community. And the beauty of walking the path that we walk is that, yes, we want to get to that heaven on earth as a community, but we can walk heaven on earth as we are creating that. Because we are about kindness, we're about love, we're about togetherness, and we are about what is possible. And we are about recognizing that it doesn't end here, it has to go out in greater ways. When we talk about expanding, and let me tell you, I do want to invite you to bring all your friends and all your family and continue to expand the community of Unity on the Bay. And even more important than that is that we expand the consciousness of what is possible through the love, the principles, and the values of Unity on the Bay, and be able to live into what Valerie Kaur, a compassionate, social justice, interfaith-minded teacher really, says that when we find the stranger, she calls this revolutionary love. When we see a stranger, when we see somebody that we don't know, we can look at them and just say, it is to look upon the face of anyone and say, you are a part of me I do not yet know. And maybe there are individuals within this community that you don't fully know yet. And each one of us are a part of each other that we may not fully know yet. But here we are to get to know each other and to support each other in knowing others. See, this is where love lives. And love, I believe, is the most powerful force in the universe. The most powerful source in the universe. When we say that there is only one power, which is God, all power, all wisdom, all knowing, all presence, that's it. That's it. In our lives, we may think that there is something more powerful than that at times. At times, we may think that we are limited by outside forces or sometimes inner forces. And the most powerful force in the world is God, is love. And so I want to invite you into this, to remember that love lives in you. And so say that with me. Love lives in me. Anchor yourself in that. Love lives in me. Trust in that. Have faith in that. Recognize that that is your superpower. Love lives in me. And so on the days when you look at the news and it tells you that we are divided, what is it that you're going to say to the news? Love lives in me. On the days where you don't know how you're going to get by because the challenges are getting difficult and the experiences that you're moving through may be difficult itself, what are you going to say to those challenges? Love lives in me. On the days when life feels daunting, you're going to say, love lives in me. On the days when you go on social media, and whether it's leaders or family or friends may be saying something hurtful or dividing, what are you going to say? Love lives in me. On the days when you feel alone or you know that somebody is feeling alone, what will you say? Love lives in me. On days when you question just how powerful you are. On days when you question how you are able to live into the dreams and the visions that you have for yourself, for each other, and for the human family, what are you going to say? Love lives in me. And if we can make unity on the bay happen, we can make all those visions and all those dreams happen. Amen? And so this is the call for us to anchor ourselves in the love that is here, the love that we are, and take that love to the world so that together we can lift each other up, together we can be the light, and together we can walk this spiritual path to heaven on earth. Are you with me, Unity on the Bay? And so I'm going to invite you to join me in the powerful affirmations of Unity on the Bay. So please stand. And yes, you that are watching from home, I see you, and I want you to stand also. And let us affirm who we are, let us affirm our truth, and let us affirm what is possible by affirming who we are in unity together. I affirm my unity with God. I affirm my unity with myself. I affirm my unity with all people. I affirm I am unity. Beloveds, this is where love lives, in me, in you, in us, and we walk this path together. There is no limit to how far our light and all that we are can go to create heaven on earth right here, right now, because love lives here, love lives in me, love lives in you, and love lives in us. Namaste.